this is not to offend anybody. This is all going into how they operate, like I said, through their sororities, through their masonry, through their Hollywood, everything of that nature, of how they use a certain image, you know what I mean, to bewilder the people and to cast people into a high level of delusion. So first off, I'm gonna delve into this right quick. So yes, I'm gonna be delving into the whole aspect of the food cooking and things like that. So I'm gonna be delving into this. I'm gonna put the other videos that I did in this series in the comment section below. It's all a must see. This is very serious information. So obviously the Klay Thompson, the NBA player Klay Thompson, and how he's with Megan Thee Stallion. So Megan Thee Stallion to be what you call a red bone. You see how he's like he loved eating the spaghetti. So anyway, people who know about the spaghetti and all of that anyway, the rituals they do with the spaghetti with the blood and all of that. But if you remember the movie Manchurian Candidate, remember that all goes to the MK Ultra. Now I'm not just talking about the spaghetti, you know what I mean, things of that nature. I'm just talking about like the symbology of why they do the ritual. Because when you understand that, as it's written that the blood of the Lamb cover us all. Those who have faith, in God, the blood of the Lamb covers us. So, they do it on their side where they want to be that mediator themselves. So, as it's written, for those who have the mind of the Lord, that he may instruct him, but we had the mind of Christ. So you see having the mind of the Lord. So remember on that Manchurian Candidate when they ate the noodles, it represented how the brain looks. You kind of see what I mean? So it goes to MK Ultra mind control. So that's why a lot of the witches like to use the blood and the spaghetti and all of that, because that blood, like I said, represents the blood of the Lamb, blasphemy. But in Revelation 17:6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yeshua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. So that goes into the mother Babylon, being drunken on the blood of the saints, warring against the kingdom of heaven all day. So you see how Lotto be talking about, yeah, I'm cooking now, and this and that. To my Lotto, to my I'm cooking, you know what I'm saying? And if you remember Mortal Kombat, remember Scarlet used to use blood to attack. Remember she used to throw blood and everything. You remember that? That's why back in the 50s, remember I Love Lucy, hint Lucifer, I Love Lucy. You remember Ricky Ricardo would come in the door, Lucy, where's my dinner? Remember he used to do all of that. So that whole thing goes to how they had the women cooking. They had to do that in the 1950s. Women nurture the family. I'm not saying it like that, but I'm just talking about like in Hollywood, how they project that. So they had the women cooking and things like that. And then around the daughter would be learning it. And then remember down that line that came around the Barbie doll era. Because now they're just getting ready to push women into that whole theme of, becoming your own God. You know what I'm saying? Because now Barbie is what you can create, and you can create an image. And that's what programs people. So that's why now you got people saying, I'm a Barbie, like Ice Spice, Nicki Minaj, etc. I'm bad like the Barbie, So, in Number, they do all that cooking ritual, because remember in Numbers 11, as remember during the first Exodus with Moses, we're crying to eat flesh. Remember the Lord said he sent them bread, but instead they didn't want the bread, that they wanted flesh. Remember? So let's go into Numbers 11:18, and say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh, for ye have wept in the ears of the Lord, saying, who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt, therefore the Lord would give you flesh, and ye shall eat. Remember when he gave them flesh, what happened? Remember they ended up being buried. The plague was sent. Remember he sent the plague.